Welcome, beloved stargazers and seekers of heart coherence. I am Sybil Starr, and I invite you to join me as we enter the sacred field of the Sagittarius full moon, which is also a blue moon, meaning that there are two full moons in the month of May. This occurs on May 31st. And in this full moon, we will also encounter the angel stars known as the royal stars of Persia. We will also be talking about the celestial configuration known as the Golden Triangle. And this is more than an astrological forecast. It is an invitation to remember that the cosmos mirrors our own awakening, and together we will explore how this golden triangle opens a field of conscious co-creation, transformation, and coherence, and how you can align your own frequency with these evolving energies. All right, I'm gonna screen share here. And first we're gonna look at the Sagittarius full moon. Okay. All right. So the Sagittarius full moon occurs on May 31st at 1:45 a.m. Pacific time. Now, I have not been doing full moon videos because I just haven't had time, but this one was so powerful, I felt like I really needed to do a video on it. So, here we are, the Sagittarius new moon, full moon. So the full moon itself is at 9 degrees, 55 minutes, or we could say 10 degrees of Sagittarius, and it is opposite the sun at 9 degrees, 55 minutes, or we could say 10 degrees of Gemini. And it's also widely conjunct Uranus by 7 degrees, and it's also in a trine to Pluto. Okay. But what's also very interesting is that um, uh, the fixed star Aldebaran is at 9 degrees. I think it's at 9 degrees, 10 minutes or something of Gemini. And the moon is conjunct the star Antares, which is around 9 degrees, 6 minutes or so of Sagittarius. And these two stars, they're called royal stars of Persia. And we'll be talking about what that actually means. And Uranus also tightly squares the nodes of the moon. Here's a north node. Here is at 3 degrees of Pisces, which is conjunct the star Fomalhaut, which is another royal star of Persia. And it is opposite the south node here at 3 degrees, which is conjunct the royal star of Persia, Regulus. So we'll be talking about what all of that means. All right. All right. So now let's just talk about that. Okay. Okay. So first of all, what is a full moon? Well, if the full moon occurs, um, when the moon is opposite the sun and it completely reflects the light of the sun. It is a moment of illumination where the sun and moon stand in perfect opposition, reflecting the full spectrum of light and shadow within us. It is a portal of completion, release, and amplified intentions. And of course, every full moon also, our emotional bodies expand. Our emotional bodies respond to the energy of the full moon. They say Mother Earth herself responds to the energy of the full moon. Number one, of course, through the tides. It affects all of the waters on Mother Earth. But Mother Earth herself, they say, rises 6 inches to meet the full moon. And anyone who's ever worked in any kind of service field knows when it's a full moon because people are hyper emotional and the emergency rooms fill up. There's more people act out their emotions more. Okay. So, but anyway, Sagittarius is a fire sign. And like I said, is opposite Gemini, which is the sun sign. And so the Sagittarius full moon illuminates the axis of higher truth and communication as the moon opposes the Gemini sun. This is a powerful portal of revelation, completion, and expanded awareness, inviting us to balance wisdom with discernment, vision with clear communication, and inspiration with grounded truth. Now, I'm going to talk now about the royal stars of Persia, and I've got a really lovely visual that I want to share. Oh, let me come back here. All right, here we go. Okay, so this visual here is the full moon right here. Okay, and actually within it, I've got the golden triangle, which I will also be talking about just a little later. And so this full moon is especially significant because all four royal stars of Persia are activated. Antares and Aldebaran are exactly aligned with the full moon. Antares is aligned with the moon, Aldebaran aligned with the sun, and the north node is aligned with Fomalhaut, and the south node with Regulus. And the Persians believed these four stars held up the heavens and were aligned with four of the most powerful archangels. It was believed the stars had the potential it was believed that the stars had potential to bring great success, but with it came a nemesis that could also bring one's downfall. Okay, so first we're going to talk about Antares. So Antares is a bright red star. It's so bright. And it's so huge that sometimes it's confused with Mars. And Antares is known to ignite passion, courage, and intensity while reminding us not to become consumed by obsession or emotional reactivity. Antares is associated with Archangel Uriel, known as the light of God, who helps us transform shadow into wisdom and anchor spiritual light into the physical world. Okay, and so opposite Antares is Aldebaran. And Aldebaran is another really bright red star. It's not as big as Antares, but it's said to be the eye of the bull. Oh, but just one thing back to Antares. It's said to sit in the heart of the scorpion. So even though it is in astrologically in Gemini, it sits in the heart of the constellation of Scorpius. Okay. All right. So back to Aldebaran. It sits in it's known as the eye of the bull, and even though it's in Gemini, it is actually in the constellation of Taurus, and it's the red eye of the bull. And is aligned with the sun at 9 degrees, 10 degrees of Gemini, 9 to 10 degrees of Gemini. And it is a star of integrity, courage, and right action, which offers success when we remain aligned with truth and heart-centered leadership. Aldebaran is linked with Archangel Michael, the great protector and guardian of truth, helping us cut through illusion with clarity, strength, and discernment. All right, so we have those two. Now we have the other two that are opposite one another, although a little wider. So the North Node, which is the way forward, is tightly conjunct the star Fomalhaut at 3 degrees of Pisces. And this is the mystical royal star associated with spiritual vision, divine inspiration, sacred imagination, and connection to higher realms. Fomalhaut is linked with Archangel Gabriel, the divine messenger who brings messages from spirit and awakens intuitive knowing and creative revelation. And if any of you were raised within the Christian church, you know that he was the one who came to the Annunciation, who announced to Mary that she would be bearing a holy child named that was Jesus. But back to Fomalhaut. Yet the shadow or nemesis of Fomalhaut is escapism, illusion, or becoming ungrounded in fantasy rather than embodying spiritual vision and practical reality. Okay, and the fourth royal star of Persia, which is conjunct the south node, is Regulus, and Regulus sits at 1 degree of Virgo. And this is a royal heart star associated with leadership, nobility, courage, and wise use of power. When I see Regulus prominent in someone's chart, I understand they have a mission of leadership on some level. Okay. And it was at 29 degrees of Leo for most of my life. It just recently changed signs. All right. And Regulus is connected with Archangel Raphael, the great healer and guardian of the heart. Yet Regulus carries a karmic lesson. Its downfall comes through pride, vengeance, or the misuse of authority. This activation asks us to move beyond egoic power and embody leadership through humility, compassion, and integrity. It's ultimately about leading from the heart. And it is said that Archangel Raphael sits in the heart of the sun. Okay. All right. So, and adding to the intensity, this Gemini sun is widely conjunct Uranus in Gemini, bringing sudden insights and awakenings, liberating truths and unexpected shifts in perception. Uranus electrifies the mind and nervous system, accelerating change and opening new pathways of awareness. Uranus is also square the lunar nodes, creating a collective crossroads where timelines and future possibilities intersect. This aspect can bring surprising events, course corrections, and breakthroughs that redirect us toward our evolutionary path. And at the same time, the sun forms a flowing trine to Pluto in Aquarius, supporting deep transformation, empowerment, and collective awakening. Pluto invites us to release outdated patterns and embrace a more authentic expression of who we are becoming. Through this harmonious trine, profound changes can occur with greater ease, helping us to align with the emerging frequencies of the new earth. This full moon feels like a threshold moment, a cosmic invitation to release outdated beliefs, to speak your truth with clarity and integrity, and step into a more awakened future. Stay grounded, stay centered in the heart, and allow the higher frequencies moving through the field to reorganize your consciousness from the inside out. Know that the angels have a strong presence at this full moon, and it reminds us that we are never alone. Okay. All right. All right. So next what we're going to talk about is the golden triangle. I was originally just going to make this video about the golden triangle, but the powerful energies of the full moon really wanted to be spoken to. So we're going to be talking about the astrology of the golden triangle. And so, beyond the full moon opposition, a deeper celestial architecture is active in what is being called the Golden Triangle, also known as a minor grand trine. The configuration is formed by a flowing 120-degree trine between Uranus in early Gemini and Pluto in early Aquarius, while Neptune in early Aries sits at the midpoint, creating two supportive sextiles. And I have a video. I'm not a video. I have a visual for this I want to share with you. Okay, let me get it here. All right, so let's look at it again. All right, so what we have, and I tried to make this more accurate so that it really showed that it's not an equilateral triangle. It is a longer triangle. It didn't show up that well. But anyway, so we've got here a 120-degree trine between Pluto and Uranus, and they're both sextile Neptune. Okay. And so this is what is called a minor grand trine. And people are also calling it a window to the new earth, the miracle trine, the field of miracles, and the magic trine. So because all three outer planets are involved. This is not only a personal activation, but a collective evolutionary field influencing humanity as a whole, especially for those with planets or angles in the early degrees of the air or fire signs. And I do want to say this is actually going to be going on for 3 years. It's not just a one-time event. As these three outer planets, they all change signs relatively close together. And so they're moving along at a similar pace. Okay, put it that way. Although Uranus does move more quickly. Um, so for the next 3 years, it's like as they increase in their degrees, they're going to be doing it together. And that is what is allowing this grand trine, this minor trine to last so long. All right. So the trine within the golden triangle creates a natural energetic flow, an ease that allows insight, transformation, and innovation to move more fluidly. But the sextiles are where conscious participation is required. They represent opportunities that become activated through intention, coherence, and engagement. This is where the potential for manifestation becomes real. As I said, the alignment is being called a window to the new earth or a field of miracles because it opens a sustained energetic doorway into higher consciousness, collective transformation, and conscious co-creation. Since the outer planets move slowly, this field will remain active over the next 3 years, giving humanity time to work with and integrate these profound evolutionary energies. So first, let's talk about Uranus, okay? As we've got here, and Uranus is kind of this electric blue, and Uranus in Gemini, and Gemini is an air sign, and so Uranus and Pluto are both in air signs, whereas Neptune is in Aries, it's in a fire sign. So Uranus in Gemini activates the mental field, our thoughts, perception, communication, and capacity for radical new insight. It is the lightning strike of awakening, breaking apart outdated mental patterns and opening new channels of awareness. It asks us to become conscious of the power of thought, language, and intention, recognizing that what we focus on helps shape the reality we experience. All right, and now Neptune here, it sits at the midpoint of these two. They're both sextile. Neptune is sextile, 60 degrees, both of these, and sitting at what is called the midpoint of them. Neptune in Aries is about heart coherence. Neptune in Aries serves as the heart-centered midpoint of the golden triangle, the bridge of coherence between spirit and action. It carries the frequency of divine compassion, spiritual inspiration, and the merging of personal will with the greater flow of consciousness. This is where the breath becomes the spiral, where the heart, mind, and nervous system begin to synchronize into a coherent field. Then the last point is Pluto in Aquarius, which is, like I said, sextile Neptune and trine Uranus. This is the collective field and the frequency. Pluto in Aquarius transforms the collective field itself. Aquarius is very much about the collective consciousness, and Pluto is the great transformer. So it's really the transformer of the collective consciousness and of the field. It is dismantling outdated systems, identities, and structures while awakening humanity to new forms of conscious community, resonance, and shared evolution. It is a profound force of transformation that asks us to move through forgiveness, authenticity, and energetic responsibility. Pluto reveals what has been hidden so that true healing and rebirth can occur. Pluto says you have to feel it to heal it. And as we do, it asks us to forgive ourselves and others. And that is the real power of the transformation here. So, what this means for humanity and the earth. The Golden Triangle is a cosmic invitation to transform the collective field, to transmute fear, separation, and outdated patterns into greater coherence, unity, and conscious awareness. It brings us into coherence. And coherence is not simply an emotional state, it's an energetic field. When the heart, mind, and breath and nervous system come into alignment, we become stabilizing frequencies within the larger planetary field. Neptune in Aries reminds us that the heart is not passive. It is an active force capable of anchoring new realities through love, presence, and conscious intention. Creating from frequency. I've really been working on this myself. Hmm. This alignment reminds us that manifestation does not arise primarily through force or struggle, but through frequency. What we consistently hold in our consciousness, especially when aligned with the heart, begins to organize reality around us. When intention is held in coherence, it becomes a living spiral of creation. And fourth is conscious co-creation. This is the beginning of a new era of conscious co-creation. The Golden Triangle is not simply an astrological pattern in the sky. It is a mirror inviting humanity to remember its role as co-creators of a new earth. We are being asked to move beyond survival consciousness and step into greater alignment with the living field of consciousness itself. All right. So here you can see unity, coherence, conscious co-creation. Yeah, it's a very powerful field. And I really recognize that it's kind of like a gift from spirit, that as we align with this field, as we are able to align with this energy, this is what will help us create a new earth. All right. So there's something also very interesting that I just recently learned about. It's a theory from a Russian scientist named Vadim Zeland, I believe that is his name. And it is a concept called reality transurfing. Okay, it's very interesting. I just bought the book and I'm going to start reading it. So you'll probably be hearing more about this. So, what is reality transurfing? Reality transurfing is a way of understanding how your thoughts, emotions, and attention influence the reality you experience. It teaches that your inner state acts like a radio dial. Instead of passively reacting to life, you can consciously tune your energy towards the experiences and realities you wish to embody. Reality surfing suggests that many possible timelines or realities exist simultaneously, and the one you surf into is influenced by your focus, emotional state, and energetic frequency. When we continually focus on fear, limitation, or lack, we tend to reinforce those experiences. But when we shift toward gratitude, trust, coherence, and possibility, we begin aligning with different potentials and opportunities. And something I'm specifically working on, and I know many are, it is about tuning into the frequency of abundance. To tune into the frequency of abundance, you begin cultivating the new state of someone who already feels supported, connected, and aligned with life. This does not mean pretending difficulties do not exist. Rather, it means consciously choosing to strengthen the emotional frequencies of gratitude, trust, generosity, openness, and confidence instead of remaining trapped in fear or scarcity. We must embody those frequencies, and especially of gratitude and generosity, of giving and receiving, and especially trust. Trusting that um, trusting that we have been taken care of and we will be, that the field is abundance. It's just a matter of tuning into it. Reality reflects frequency. As your inner state begins to change, your external reality often starts reflecting those shifts. New opportunities, synchronicities, relationships, and pathways can emerge that resonate more closely with your new frequency. Reality Transurfing connects powerfully with the Golden Triangle because both emphasize the importance of frequency, intention, and coherence. Your thoughts create mental direction. Your heart generates emotional frequency. Your breath and nervous system stabilize the field. When these elements come into alignment, like the balanced geometry of the Golden Triangle, you become more capable of consciously aligning with timelines of greater harmony, abundance, and purpose. And it's important to remember with the Golden Triangle, it's not an equilateral triangle. It's not like a grand trine where there's flow all around. There's flow, and then with the two sextiles, it's about consciously participating. It is like there is opportunity, and that makes it a more dynamic triangle, and it makes it a more dynamic energy. Okay. All right. Surfing the new reality. The Golden Triangle can be seen as a harmonic circuit within the collective field, supporting humanity in learning how to create from coherence rather than fear. As we consciously align mind, heart, and intention, we become more able to surf into realities that resonate with our highest values, deepest truths, and soul level intentions. It is less about controlling reality and more about learning to resonate with the reality we wish to experience. So, as we set our intentions, it's important to not be too specific. Is what I'm understanding from this. It is more important to say, like, I resonate with the frequency of abundance rather than I need this amount of work, this and this, knowing that it's really leaving the details to God and to know that this putting yourself tuning into that dial, that frequency. And so I'm going to share a few practices and techniques to bring ourselves into coherence because that's the key, is coming into coherence. So what is coherence? Coherence is a state of energetic alignment in which the heart, mind, breath, emotions, and nervous system begin working together in harmony rather than conflict. It's like when a band is playing together. If they're not in harmony with each other, it really sounds terrible. There's no melody. So it's like when everything is working together. When we are incoherent, we often feel fragmented, reactive, anxious, fearful, or disconnected. Our thoughts pull us one way while our emotions pull us another. But when we enter coherence, the body and energy field become more ordered, calm, centered, and present. We begin to feel more connected to ourselves, to others, and to the greater field of life itself. Coherence is not simply relaxation. It is a state of inner alignment that allows us to respond to life with greater clarity, compassion, intuition, and conscious awareness. In many ways, coherence is the bridge between intention and manifestation. It stabilizes our frequency so we can more consciously align with the realities we wish to create. Breathing practices. Our breath is very important. So, as a coherence breathing practice is for an example, is to inhale for 6 counts, hold for 3, exhale for 6, and hold for 3. And do this 3 times. You just inhale for 6, hold for 3, exhale through the mouth for 6, and hold for 3. As we allow the breath to become rhythmic and circular, like a spiral moving through the body and outward into the field around you. The breath helps regulate the nervous system, quiet the mind, and bring the heart and brain into greater coherence. It can bring you back into yourself instead of being scattered all out there. Okay. Another is sound and the frequency of sound. And one of the sounds that is really important for coherence is what is called the 528 hertz solfeggio tone. All of the solfeggio tones are wonderful for coming into for different for frequencies, but the 528 is really good for the heart coherence. It is often referred to as the miracle tone and has long been associated with healing, harmony, and transformation. Listening or toning with this frequency can help entrain the body and nervous system into a more coherent, balanced state. Allow the tone to gently move through your body and field, bringing greater resonance, openness, and alignment. Sometimes I wake up in the morning with anxiety, and I realize that if I start listening to the 528 solfeggio tone, and there are many wonderful um, videos that on YouTube that are, of course, just music, just sound, just free, and not anyone singing, and it's and there's many of them. And so you know, if you start to search for it, you'll just have to find the one that really resonates with you. And I find that when I get up in the morning, I listen to it through headphones, and it really helps me come back and center myself. Okay. Um, Another one is crystal singing bowls. If you have a crystal singing bowl, and especially one that is tuned to 528 hertz, it allow its vibration to resonate through the body and energy field. The pure crystalline tones can help quiet the mind and support a deeper state of coherence, presence, and energetic harmony. For many people, the spiral patterns and sacred geometry connected with these instruments evoke the deeper rhythms of creation itself. My singing bowl has a pattern of the flower of life on it, and I often meditate on it. I have it behind me as well. Meditating on the flower of life is another tool to bring you into coherence. Another is Om, is the Om mantra. Tone the Om mantra for several minutes each day if possible. Om is one of the most ancient sacred sounds, and is considered by many traditions to be the primordial vibration of creation itself and the primordial sound of oneness. It brings us into oneness with all that is. The vibration of Om helps synchronize the breath, mind, and heart while bringing the nervous system into a calmer and more unified state. But of course, these are just tools. The most important component is conscious choices in each moment. Ultimately, coherence is not created through techniques alone. It is a conscious choice we make moment by moment. It is a commitment to align with love rather than fear, truth rather than illusion, compassion rather than judgment, and presence rather than reactivity. The practices are tools that help stabilize and support our vibration, but it is our daily choices, thoughts, actions, and intentions that truly shape the reality we experience. This is where transformation becomes embodied, not just as a spiritual idea, but as a lived frequency. The golden triangle that will be present over the next 3 years, the field of the golden triangle, will remain active over the next several years, offering humanity an ongoing opportunity to stabilize higher frequencies of consciousness through coherence, compassion, and conscious co-creation. It acts like a living, energetic support system, helping us align mind, heart, and intention so we can participate more consciously in the unfolding creation of a new reality. So, as we move through this powerful Sagittarius full moon and the unfolding golden triangle, remember that we are not navigating these energies alone. The royal stars of Persia remind us that angelic assistance is available when we align ourselves with integrity, wisdom, compassion, and truth. May Archangel Michael guide your discernment, Uriel, your path, Gabriel, your vision, and Raphael, open your heart to healing and grace. As you move forward, choose coherence over fear, love over separation, and conscious co-creation over unconscious reaction. The golden triangle will remain active for years to come, offering an ongoing opportunity to align with higher frequencies of consciousness. May you become a living bridge between heaven and earth, bringing your unique gifts into service of the emerging new earth. All right. So I hope you found this helpful. I find it very powerful. Would be a wonderful day to pray and set intentions at this full moon and invite the angels into your life. So wishing you all a wonderful few weeks till I see you again with the Gemini new moon in 2 weeks. All right, many blessings and namaste. Okay. And if you like this video, please check like and subscribe. It's very helpful to me if you do.